Major League Baseball getting a lot of praise for its moving tribute to Hank Aaron after the sixth inning of Tuesday's All-Star Game. A 3-minute presentation was a vivid look back at Aaron's 715th home run. Certainly worth a watch. If you missed it, you can tell how much planning, time, and investment Major League Baseball put into it. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Wednesday, July 16th. I'm Abe Madkour. Baseball leaves Atlanta today after a 4-hour All-Star game decided in a home run slugfest. The game started out to be a blowout for the National League. The visuals were great. Truist Park looked fantastic. There are a number of young, compelling players mixed with veterans for baseball, and it made for a good show. I love the pageantry that baseball can deliver around these events. There were even 5 pitches challenged by the automated ball and strike system. Let me know your thoughts about that process. But overall, what loomed over this week I felt was labor and a likely lockout in December 2026 as management looks, perhaps, to push for a salary cap. And those were the stories that were prevalent for the last few days. Interestingly, when Mets' Pete Alonso went so far as to say, quote, "No one's talking about it, but we all know that they're going to lock us out for it, and then we're going to miss time," end quote. When he says for it, that is for a salary cap. He also added that the players are going to fight to not have a salary cap and that the league won't like the effort of the players to resist such a cap. Commissioner Rob Manfred said it's all about educating players to him. He said he cites problems in the game, in the media business, and that owners need changes. He also says that a lot of fans in a lot of markets feel like there is a competitive balance problem across baseball. He believes a salary cap would resolve that. Baseball's collective bargaining agreement expires December 1st, 2026, so we are going to hear that continued drumbeat of a lockout and a salary cap and resistance over the next year and a half. But let's stay with baseball because a lot of markets want to do what Atlanta just did, host a very elaborate week of festivities. Next year's All-Star Game will be played in Philadelphia, 30 years after the last All-Star Game in that city. The Cubs, they'll announce that they'll host the 27 All-Star Game quite shortly. Reports have that the San Francisco Giants are the front-runner for the 2028 All-Star Game if MLB players compete in the 28 Summer Olympics. 3 other cities have shown an interest: Toronto, Baltimore, Boston. These cities want this game. It is 3 or 4 days of a celebration of baseball in a local market, and it really has a long-term impact. That's why these cities are so interested in these events. And as we start the second half of the season, the Rays are right in the mix in the playoff hunt in the American League. And Rob Manfred said earlier this week the Rays will get to remain in their interim home at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa should they make the playoffs. And this comes despite the limited capacity at that venue. It's about 10,000 fans during the regular season. Yes, there will be discussions about potentially expanding capacity, but Manfred said there are competitive benefits of playing at home as opposed to a neutral site, and that is a deciding factor on letting the team stay at Steinbrenner Field. I agree. Why punish the team, its players, and its fans for a decision that was made collectively months ago? Meanwhile, Rob Manfred did say he believes the Rays will return to Tropicana Field in 2026. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, he met the media at his Board of Governors meetings in Las Vegas this week. He touched on the sale of the Portland Trail Blazers. And this comes as my colleague Tom Friend notes that Seattle and Climate Pledge Arena is out there, potentially lurking, and could be a target for the Blazers to be relocated. Tom Friend notes that there is speculation that a Portland outsider, perhaps even Jeff Bezos, could purchase the Blazers and relocate the team to become the Supersonics or Seattle's NBA team. Adam Silver said it's the league's presence that the team is sold to a group intent on keeping the Blazers in Portland for the long term. But he did note a complicating factor is the age of the Moda Center. That was built 30 years ago. And he acknowledged Portland will need a new arena, and that will be a challenge for any new ownership group coming in to potentially buy the Blazers. And early reports are that the Batal family, who own the Portland WNBA Fire, which we'll talk about in a bit, and have a minority stake in the Sacramento Kings, are among the interested parties in the Blazers. We'll have to check. I'll be in that market next week. I'm interested to hear what people are saying about the future of the Blazers. Meanwhile, Adam Silver, he did give a brief update on NBA Africa, and he said NBA Africa saw record highs in terms of attendance, viewership, and merchandise sales. I'll just tell you, people I talk to at the NBA are incredibly bullish and optimistic about the growth of NBA Africa. Let's go back to Portland because I noted that the Portland's WNBA expansion team, they will be known as the Fire. Remember, that was the name of the previous WNBA franchise that was shuttered after just 3 seasons in 2002. But the owners, the Batal family, who I mentioned, decided to revive the brand after vetting the name within the Portland market. They had a public unveiling of the logo on Tuesday afternoon, and I heard from sources on the ground that the unveiling was a huge success. Thousands showing up, and that the line for merchandise extremely long. Portland has shown great support of women's sports, and I know that the W and local leaders in Portland are bullish on the Fire and the market coming back to the WNBA, so the Portland Fire will start in 2026. And finally, it's a big day here in our hometown of Charlotte today. MLS Commissioner Don Garber and his staff will be in Charlotte to announce that MLS is bringing its All-Star Game to Bank of America Stadium next year. Interestingly, it'll be the first time since 2018 that MLS has held the All-Star event in a non-soccer specific stadium. B of A, of course, seats over 70,000 people. I know many are going to this year's All-Star Game at Q2 Stadium in Austin, and then next year, it's coming to Charlotte. Now, they will have to figure out the date. Remember, MLS will stop its season or pause its season during next year's World Cup. So the All-Star Game could potentially mark the league's return from the World Cup sometime in late July. I'll just say, in a market like Charlotte, MLS bringing its All-Star Game here, it will be a big event. It will be totally embraced by the city. MLS will be very happy with the energy and the fandom and the reaction in this market. As an aside, SBJ is excited to host Garber and his staff for a sit-down at our offices later today. And finally, thanks to all of you who sent your suggestions. I will be out in Seattle next Monday and Tuesday. Heard from a number of you about great restaurants, great things to see. It's been a long time since I've been to that great city. So if you have additional tips, please let me know. And that is your morning Buzzcast for Wednesday, July 16th. I'm Abe Madkour. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Be good to each other. My colleague will bring you the Buzzcast on Thursday. I'll be back on Friday, and I'll talk to you then.